the Matthews and Nylander situation. Like, God forbid the Leafs sign William Nylander to like 1.3 million more than maybe he deserves or we all think he's going to get. Then everyone's going to be up in arms. It's the same thing with Auston Matthews. God forbid he gets 13.4 million instead of 12.9 million. It's insane, man. Like, what are your thoughts on that situation? Because these are the two big dominoes that still need to fall here. And then everything will probably become a lot clearer here in terms of how the Leafs are going to fill out their roster once they figure out the extensions for Matthews and Nylander. But do you think there's any concern? Listen, I don't think there's any concern about Matthews. Like, I think they're going to get that extension done. The one that's starting to worry me a bit, Lepore, is this Nylander situation. Are you concerned at all with either of these guys?
Of course, everyone knows Treliving wants them signed. My thinking about this, like, you say you use the scope to look at this entire thing. Okay, the argument that David Kampf was overpaid. Okay, let's say you get that guy for $2 million instead of the 2.4. That $400,000 could cost you Nylander or Matthews if you want them. So I'd like to think and hope and pray, for that matter, that they already kind of know what these guys are getting and it's already pretty well locked up. So that's my first side of it. Pushing forward with it, I think the Nylander one is, and comment down below what you think if you disagree. I think it's pretty easy to predict because here you had Dubois and Meyer sign their deals, and it's got to be similar-ish. It can't be like people are saying, oh, he wants over 10. It's like, no, come on. Like, I know he had an amazing year, but what's the comparable there? Right, of like wingers who make over 10 million. That's tough, Willie. And again, like, let's be reasonable. Timo Meier just signed for 8.8. Okay, I mean, some people think Dubois is overpaid. I mean, that's what he got. So like, I think it's going to be in that realm. With Matthews, it's broad, man. It's broad. Some people are saying 3 years. Some people, I've heard 6, and then with the amount of it, everything between 13 and 15. So that one, I have no idea. Absolutely no clue what that one could be. But again, I just, with the camp signing and with all the places they have to fill in this lineup, I'd like to think those deals, whatever they are pretty well done, because it's like, well, we have to take care of that no matter what. Like, let's say they want Nylander for 9 and it's 9.4 to get it done. They wouldn't have signed Camp. And they would have found a $2 million replacement. We'll deal with that when we need to, right?
Yeah, I would like to think that both guys are coming back. And I know there are a lot of Leaf fans who want to see some shakeup here, who want to see one of the core four dealt, who want to see something different. Because there's a big contingent of the fan base that is going to be extremely annoyed if they run this back, which it appears they're going to do. And it was the same thing last year. Right? The Leafs ran it back after they lost in 7 to Tampa. And, people weren't necessarily drawn in at the start of the year, more of the casual fans. But as the year goes on and you get closer to the playoffs and you get sucked back in, and then you're watching them lose in the playoffs again. So I know there's a lot of fans who are going to be upset, but I think they're going to re-sign both guys. And I think both guys are probably going to get overpaid slightly. It is what it is. Like, even comparing Nylander to Timo Meier, who signed for $8.8 million over 8 years with the Devils. Like, I'm just going through Timo Meier's, his seasons. He scored 40 goals last season, and that was his first 40-goal season in the NHL. And, it's just like William Nylander. Yeah. They've both scored 40 goals once in their career. Timo Meier, 330 points in 472 games. I believe Nylander has a better points per game mark than Timo Meier does. So they are pretty similar players, honestly. Like, I'm looking at Nylander's stats right now. Nylander, 430 points in 521 career games. So he has scored at a slightly better clip than Timo Meier over his career. Nylander coming off back-to-back 80-point seasons. Like, he's going to get what he deserves. Like, to the people who think Nylander doesn't deserve, like, $8.59 million, I don't know what you've been watching. And even look what he's done in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. I think everyone would take him at $8.5 million, though, Bruno. You think Leafs fans would argue against $8.5 million?
No, I think Leaf fans would probably accept 8.5 million. I think if it gets to like 9.5 million.
Oh yeah, that's the number. How we said the over under on like Bedard goals. I think like not 9 is the over under on like how fans are going to react to this.
I think he's asking for something in the nines. Like if I just had
Of course
to guess,
he is. Of course
he's
he is.
got to be asking for something in the nines. And again, like even just doing this basic exercise, comparing him to Timo Meier, and both of them were top 10 picks in the draft, similar career numbers. Both have scored 40 goals once in their career. So you got to think now like the baseline is 8.8 million. And don't forget, like William Nylander, when he was 21 years old, was the MVP for Sweden at the World Championships, not the World Juniors, the World Championships. Like William Nylander's a damn good player and has been a damn good player for a while now, even though your uncle might disagree with that. So it's going to start at 8.8 and Leaf fans are going to be pissed. He's probably going to sign for like 9.2 million and people are going to be like, oh my God, the Leafs overpaid Nylander. Then Matthews is going to sign for like 13 point something. The thing that's going to piss me off, Lepore, and we talked about this on the last show, is if Matthews signs like a 3-year deal.
No, we're not doing it.
I'm going to be pissed off.
I will be furious with my favorite hockey team if he signs a 3-year deal. That's it. That's it. And I can't say the only thing, but it would have to be at a number that he's not going to sign for. So like not a raise. Like so that's not going to happen. So no, like that's embarrassing. That would legitimately and truly be embarrassing if he signed a 3-year deal.
I'd be so angry. Like ideally we all want Matthews to sign an 8-year contract, just like every other star player in the league has done. But like what do you think the chances are that he signs an 8-year deal for like 12.7 million just to surpass Nathan McKinnon, who beat out Connor McDavid's average annual salary by 100,000? Like, is there any chance Matthews is just like, all right, I'm going to take an 8-year deal for 12.7. I'm going to temporarily be the highest paid player in the league. You think there's zero chance?
I think there's zero chance. I hate to say it. I wish, but it's not going to be that long. And it's going to start with a 13.
God.
Is what I think. I'm saying it's going to be 4 or 5 years at like 13.5 is going to be my guess.
If it's 5 years, I can stomach. And again, we talked about this on the last show. Go check it out because we had like a long conversation about this. I'd be okay with a 5-year deal for Matthews.
Me too.
But good Lord, Lepore, if he signs a 3-year deal for like 13.5 million.
Oh, fuck. No.
Like, what are we doing here? You're the only elite player who's doing this. You're the only elite player who thinks they're LeBron James. And again, like Auston Matthews is a top 5 player in the league. But he's trying to sign like an NBA contract where these guys sign like these 2 to 3 year deals, LeBron James and Kevin Durant, then they re-up and they make a ton of money. And it makes sense from an economic perspective and a financial perspective when you think about Matthews and how he can maximize his earnings. But good Lord, man, when every other star player in the league is signing long-term extensions, 8-year deals at manageable numbers, and then this dude wants to come in and sign a 3-year deal for 13.5, 14 million. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. That's gonna piss off a lot of people if that's what happens.
Yeah. Someone even made the take, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall for these discussions. Okay, let's say he did sign 8 years at the 12.75 or something. Okay, Auston, you're making less money over those 8 years. Okay. But July 1, we turn on the TV, or we turn on TV. I sound like a dinosaur. We get the alert on our phone that Matthew signed 8 times 12.75. Okay. He is a hero.
Oh,
in the city of Toronto,
in Leafs Nation.
He would be the most loved figure in the city. With that comes benefits. More endorsements, more jersey sales, all that stuff, better marketing, like everything. And I'm waiting for a Boston Pizza commercial with a few of the Leafs. Those, like Treliving's dad owns the Boston Pizza franchise. So even like later, like when the player writes a book, and everyone get ready to laugh if they win a cup. Oh my God. Like the money that would just pour in for these guys. So like, I'd love to hear those discussions of, okay, Auston, you signed that deal. You're making it harder for the team to win, and people aren't going to like you. You signed this deal. Yeah, it's less money, but there's a potential to make even more because we're going to be a better team if you're making less money, and you'll be more loved by the fan base.
Like, Lepore, do you think him and Marner ever think about that, what you just laid out? Because it's a really good point. Like, do you think they've taken even 5 minutes to sit back and think about how great they would look if they signed team-friendly contracts? And again, we're not saying they have to take like massive discounts, but it's just like sign the contracts that all the other elite players around the league are signing, for the love of God.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I always make the point that people are different. Some people play because they want to win. Some people play for the paycheck. Some people like the geography of a certain team. So everyone's different. I just think I won't even say today's hockey player, today's athlete, it's just all about them. Their take is, well, people are going to love me anyway. I'm going to make the most money possible, and I'm going to get the most endorsements anyway, and I can bring this team to a championship because I'm the man. And it's lame, but I think that's what goes through their heads. And their agents are probably pumping them with that. So, everyone loves you, and you can make all the money. Do it, Mitch. Of course. I mean, it sucks. And sports has changed since when we were kids, and now I really do sound like a dinosaur. But I'd like to think now more than ever, what we're talking about is barely talked about at all. Really and truly, barely talked about at all. And as fans, we're always going to ask that question because we can't relate, because we're not professional athletes making millions of dollars. But Tyler Bertuzzi will be testing free agency, according to Elliot Friedman.
Yeah, I literally just got the same alert.
Yeah, that's
on my
something.
phone.
Yeah, that's something. But yeah, I just think in today's world, you do not have that actual care for the logo on the front of the jersey. And that's not just Leafs players. I think it's across the board. So it sucks, but it's the reality of it. And it seems like the Toronto Maple Leaf star players are at the forefront of it. So buckle up, everybody. It's going to be fun.
I have a pretty good feeling that when Connor McDavid becomes a free agent, or even before he becomes a free agent and he's eligible to sign his extension, I feel pretty good. And I know everyone wants to see him come play for the Leafs. No matter who he ends up playing for, I feel pretty good that he's going to sign an 8-year deal.
100%.
For whatever the highest salary at that time will be, and it's probably going to eclipse Matthews. I can't see McDavid being like, no, I'm only going to sign a 3-year deal, then I'm going to re-up when the cap goes up. Like, he's going to sign an 8-year deal because Connor McDavid strikes me, and maybe you disagree, like, he strikes me as someone who wants to win so badly.
Yeah, especially if he doesn't win.
3 Hart trophies. He's won a Rocket Richard now. When people didn't put him in the same class as the top goal scorers in the world, and he shut up everybody this year, scoring 60 plus. Like, he's won everything, every award you can possibly think of besides, like, all right, the Selke Award, okay? But, like, this guy wants to win a cup. I guarantee you, I maybe guarantee is a little aggressive, but I have a very strong feeling he's going to sign an 8-year extension.
Think of it this way, Bruno. What's the max? It's never happened, but the max is 20% that a player can sign for. Let's say when he becomes a free agent, the cap's 90 million. Okay. So that would be 18 million. Connor McDavid would deserve that. 100% Connor McDavid would deserve that. And he could go to the table and demand it. And to be honest, if he hit free agency, somebody would give it to him. He's not going to do that. Because especially if he doesn't win in Edmonton the next couple of years, whether he re-signs with Edmonton or goes somewhere else, he's going to be desperate to win. So, like, let's cry about it. Why can't our guys feel this way?
Yeah, and in order to win, I think Connor McDavid understands that you need to be able to build a team around him, and you need to leave some money on the table. I know it kind of sucks, and the cap sucks, and I agree with you, Lepore, but that's the reality of the situation. You have to leave money on the table in a league like the NHL if you're a star player, if you seriously want to build a winning team around you. It's time for a quick break for a word about Manscaped. If you haven't already heard, it's smooth sack summer. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're scaped from pubes to bum. The leaders in below the waist grooming are making sure we all have a ball this summer by giving our balls everything they need to stay fresh. Dive headfirst into smooth sack summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping using our exclusive promo code GFP20. Lepore, you got to be prepared for smooth sack summer, man.
You got it, man. Summer, guys, it's hot. It's sticky. We have to take care of ourselves. So what are we going to do? We're going to pull out some crop mops from Manscaped, clean the boys up and down, left and right. But when you do buy the crop mops, don't forget to use the promo code GFP20 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com.
You know what to do, gentlemen. Get that Lawnmower 4.0 and then make sure you're clean from head to toe, but especially in the region that we're talking about. All right, keep those boys nice and fresh, and you're going to have yourself one hell of a summer. So once again, go to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping using the promo code GFP20. That is promo code GFP20 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com.